2013, won the Big Ten Championship in 2014, and Lauren became the first ever volleyball player to win the AAU Sullivan Award, which goes to the best amateur athlete in the United States in 2017. She was a 3-year captain for the Badgers and majored in retail and consumer behavior with a certificate in entrepreneurship. Post-college, Lauren played professionally overseas in Turkey, Italy, and Russia before coming back to the States to play in LOVB, League One Volleyball. And last but not least, was a setter with the national team for 8 years and won a silver medal in the 2024 Paris Olympics. Wow, huh? That's pretty impressive. Let's give Lauren a very warm welcome again. Let's go.
Sorry for my voice. I am fighting a sinus infection right now. Coming back from Hawaii. I know, tough life. I got my notes on my phone. I'm not here just texting people randomly. So, anyways, thank you for having me today. We were supposed to have Kelly Sheffield. He had a last-minute recruiting visit to go to in Utah. So he's sorry he can't be here. But yeah, see everyone got the Badger Red memo. Love that. So yeah, as Corey said, I'm Lauren Carlini. I am a setter for Wisconsin-Madison. I am going into my 3rd year of professional volleyball here in the United States. My gosh, what I would have given to be 10, 11, 12 years old and have a professional team in my backyard, right? Going into the same gym and watching them, being able to interact with them on a day-to-day basis, ask questions, see what it was like to be a true pro. So very honored to now be a part of that and be a founding athlete and really be able to inspire the next generation. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm a founding athlete. That's why I'm a coach now for the Badgers. It's not about me and what I've accomplished. It's about how can I inspire the next generation, these next level of not only youth volleyball players, but really anyone who's passionate about doing something in their life and taking it to the next level. So a little bit of my background, grew up in Aurora, Illinois, had the opportunity to play at a great club, the best at the time for 11 years, down in Chicago. Back in the day when you could still commit whenever you wanted, I committed to Wisconsin when I was 14 years old. Crazy to think about now, but it just speaks to the ever-changing college landscape and the athletics that is now, right? Just you have NIL, you have rev share. There is so much money and, in a way, politics involved. Where I really loved the time where I was able to commit to a program, commit to a staff who believed in just bettering the player and the person. It wasn't strictly money talk. So going back to that, committed when I was a freshman in high school. Had a great time, and then went into Wisconsin at the same time as Kelly Sheffield. So getting to learn from him what it takes to be a leader and what it takes to be successful in any aspect of your life. And I think sports does a really great job of that, of one, just team dynamics. Like, what does it take to not only help yourself get to the next level, but the people around you? That's the more important part. And I wish that I would have learned that at a younger age. I know that in middle school and high school, winning was the most important thing to me, period. And did I do it at a detriment to other people at times? Yes. Was I a terrible teammate and so mean? Yes. But I didn't care, because I was like, we're gonna win, you're welcome. And I got to college and Kelly was like, okay, we love your competitiveness. Now let's take some sandpaper to this a little bit here. Let's soften up the edges in a sense. And so he actually has all of his players to this day take this assessment called the DISC test. I'm not sure if anyone has heard of the DISC test, quite a few. So for those of you who do know, I'm a high D, shocking. That means I have a very dominant personality and winning is the ultimate goal. I'm also a little bit of a rule follower, I do. Police in the back, yeah. High school, not so much. College, I got better, I promise. And I don't have a poker face. You know exactly what I'm thinking. And so basically breaking the DISC test down, D is dominant, I is for interpersonal. How friendly are you with other people? I've also gotten better at that. S is like steady. Poker face, you can't tell what's going on. Very low. Very. And then C is compliance. How do you follow rules? Are you really driven by data? So he has every single person on our team and our staff take this every single year. And it is such a great way to learn how to, not only about yourself, right? How do you want to be spoken to? How do you speak to others? How do you bring the best out of other people and yourself? And especially his setters. So the quarterbacks of the team in a lot of sense for the football people in here, point guards of basketball. How do you get everyone working around you and moving in the same direction? And so that is one thing that he taught me that was really important, was learn others around you. They're going to want to play harder for you and better for you and with you. And so every single year you would go in and you would study and you would try, it's like putting puzzle pieces together to figure out how is this team going to work and what makes this team special. And so, gosh, Kelly, he is one of the best leaders I've ever been around in terms of building a culture, caring about people, not only as an athlete, but it's about you as a human. You know, he asks every single time I go into office, hey, how's your boyfriend? Hey, how's your family? How's your dad? It's just those little interpersonal touches that really make the difference, and you would be surprised how many other coaches couldn't care less about that. It's, are you doing your schoolwork? All right, I'll see you in the gym later. And do not go above and beyond to care about the person beneath the athlete. So moving on through my career, was able to be a captain for 3 years with the Badgers, and that's all voted on by fellow teammates, staff members, and just, I learned so much along the way. Moving forward, 2017, graduated from Wisconsin, and the only option at the time was go to play overseas. If you wanted to be on the national team, you wanted to be on the Olympic team, you had to go overseas. There was no professional volleyball here in the United States. And so I went over and I had the ability to play in Italy, Turkey, and Russia. I know. And that was, Russia was actually funny. It led into the COVID year, so I literally had to flee the country of Russia, which was a very exciting story. That's for another time. But living overseas for 7 to 8 months of the year, it is such a challenge. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to do that, because you get immersed in different cultures. You learn how to work with different people who have different sets of beliefs and ways of growing up and going about things. And you come to realize, like, Americans, we are very hard-nosed. We will work at any hours of the day. It does not matter. Italy? Tomorrow. Sunday tomorrow, okay? And there's just a certain way that we go about things. And anytime I went overseas, I was really proud to be an American and have that work ethic, have that leadership, have that natural ability to want to get in the gym or interact with people and make everyone better around me. Because that was not the case in most situations overseas. After that, let's see, that was 2020. COVID happened, we all know, we were there. Tokyo Olympics got postponed until 2021. So ended up, my goal, when I was in 6th grade, we were at a high performance championship. My coach asked, what does everyone want to do in volleyball one day? What's the goal here? A lot of people were, I want to make my high school team. Oh, no, I want a scholarship in college. Going around the circle, everything, low-hanging fruit. Comes to me and I'm like, I want to be an Olympian one day. And then the next 4 people were like, oh wait, I want to be an Olympian too. That's cool. Yeah, I want to do that too. Copiers, okay. And so everyone knew that was on the table. I put myself out there. I was very vulnerable. I was very vocal about what my hopes and my dreams were. And I was okay with that. I was willing to put myself out there because I believed in myself. Fortunately, 2021 came around. June happened. It's very interesting. We get emailed our roster spots for the Olympics. So you don't get a face-to-face conversation when you find out. It is via email. And your initials are either on that sheet or you're an alternate and they're not. So my initials were not on that roster of 12, which was absolutely devastating. We were in a bubble in Italy at this point and just completely isolated. And there were so many emotions that happened in that moment. It was disappointment. It was anger and a bit of bitterness, and honestly, a lot of embarrassment. And, you know, I'm sure all of you guys, a lot of you have kids, and when embarrassment comes to the table, it's like, no, you shouldn't be embarrassed. Like, you gave everything you had. There shouldn't be that. But emotions are a fickle thing. They're going to come and go whether you like it or not. And I had to work my way through those emotions overseas and figuring out what was next. And so once my little world came shattering down that I didn't make the Olympics, came home, and it was hard. I had a decision to make at that point. It was, I could blame, I could be angry, I could just choose to quit volleyball, but I didn't. I made a promise to myself, I made a promise to my teammates. It's actually crazy. The next day, after we found out about the Olympic team, we had an opportunity to choose to not go to practice if we were an alternate. And when I tell you that was the hardest practice day of my entire life and career, it was that day after I found out that I didn't make the team. But I knew that one, it was the right thing to do. Two, it spoke to our character, the alternates that decided to go, because we committed to the team, right? We committed to each other. We didn't quit on each other whether or not we got the result that we wanted or the outcome that we wanted. So there was a lot of strength and pride that came in going to that next practice and showing up for the people around us. And then going home and having to watch the Olympics on TV, that was really hard. And then after that, we go back overseas for another 7 months. The one thing just the biggest lesson I learned in all of that is being vulnerable, being open, and asking questions. I could have just gone overseas and just avoided why I didn't make the team, but I went up to the coaching staff and I said, okay, what do you need from me in order to, there should be no question as this 2024 roster. I don't want any guessing or anything to happen. I want to be on this 24 roster. What is that going to take? Tell me. And so they gave me very direct, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to get better at. Let's see where we can get. And so walking away with those objectives and those very clear ideas of what I need to get better at, what I need to improve on, was important. Is it easy to hear those things? Absolutely not. Like you guys know, there's things you don't want to hear, but to better improve yourself, to get to the next level, it's about being a sponge and taking in that information and being an active learner. And two, being willing to ask the hard questions and take in that information and use it in a positive way rather than use it as anger or bitterness. So, fast forward 3 years later, June 2024 comes around. I had a pretty good feeling, but you just never know. You just never know. And roster came out, the email again, and I'm by myself in my apartment in Orange, California. Hands are sweating. Refresh. Finally comes through, setters, LC. Woo! And I just started crying. I called my dad, and he was in his recliner, of course, taking a little nap. And he pops up and said, "No freaking way, kid!" And just hearing his excitement, it made it all worth it, right? Those people who are always in your corner, no matter what, and just rooting for you. And he would have been there for me even if I didn't make the team, even if I never became an Olympian. But knowing I put in the work and I did my time and that I had earned that spot, that's something that no one will ever be able to take from me. So, 2024, went to the Olympics. We had a terrible quad, by the way. We didn't win anything. We went into the Olympics, we were like, all right, guys, let's just let it ride. Let's see what happens. Play free, right? Play free. We just kept saying, play free. We kept winning and winning. And we're like, oh my God, are we going to do this thing again? And so we get to the semifinal match against Brazil. Absolute barn burner of a match. We played 5 sets. I remember the whole 4th and 5th set, my body was covered in complete goosebumps. And I could not get rid of the goosebumps. It was just the energy and the emotion of like, oh my God, we're about to do this and we're about to go to an Olympic final. Ended up winning that match in 5. It was just the absolute icing on the cake. Went to the Olympic final, didn't do so well against Italy, but happy nonetheless to walk away with one of these bad boys. So, yeah. then moving on to the kind of the part of my career where we're at now. After 2024, League One Volleyball, love, LOVB, it's pronounced like love, not love B or anything like that. They contacted me in 2021, and they're like, hey, we're making a league here in the United States. We would love for Madison to be one of the premier locations and one of the first 6 teams. I said, say less, I'm in. And it came at the perfect time. I always thought I was going to retire after 8 years of playing overseas, and once the national team was done, I'm going to be done. And this was right time, right place. Kelly Sheffield was nagging in my ear nonstop about being on staff. He said, I think you're going to be a good coach one day. It's like, Kelly, I have no interest in coaching. And then he called me a couple months later, Lauren, there's an opportunity. I think you should come coach. So everything kind of fell into place. Took a spot with the Badgers for year 1 as like offensive analyst. And got to work with the setters. That was an incredible experience. Moved on last year to become an assistant coach full-time, and then moving into this next season as well as an assistant again. So that has just been a whirlwind. Still being an athlete and still playing here in Madison, right? In the mornings I go to practice, put my knee pads on, play. I learned some things at practice, and then I get to drive 30 minutes over to the field house, and I get to share what I just learned as an athlete and in practice to the players who want to be in my shoes one day. And so it has been an incredible opportunity, one, to work with Kelly and the staff. They've been together for, I don't even know, almost 2 decades at this point. And to work with people like Charlie, who have dreams and aspirations of being on the national team and being a multi-time Olympian and then going and playing beach. And for me, it's about making those connections. It's about making her better every day. I'm showing up for her and being the best I can for her. And for the team. And it's for me, same thing with Love. We are now working with a lot of club teams around the country. How Love is built, we are a feeder system from club teams. So 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way through 18-year-olds. They go to college, and then their dream now is going to play at Houston or going to play here in Madison. And being able to have those interactions that I talked about earlier and answer their questions and see them on a day-to-day basis, and then be able to come to games and see what it truly means to be a professional volleyball player. And this goes for everything, right? I always talk about it doesn't matter if you're going to be a volleyball player. You can be a football player. You can be, a chemist. Whatever you want to do, find your passion. Find something that you truly believe in that brings you joy every day. And you guys have heard it. It doesn't feel like a job, right? Like this is something that your energy and your passion, it should inspire others to do whatever they're doing at their greatest ability. And so with Love, being able to inspire those young athletes to hopefully be one day playing for Love Madison, investing in the people around you and the small businesses. Like, I minored in entrepreneurship at Wisconsin, and so small businesses is something that it's really cool to see people's passion for what they're doing and how they're doing it and interacting with the community. So I commend you all for being in that space. And quite frankly, just really looking forward to seeing where these young women go in their lives, whatever it may be. And I want them doing it with passion and with joy. And I just hope that, not only to you guys, but to them especially, can I be an inspiration and a bit of a source for that. So I'm not sure if you guys have any questions or just comments or anything you want to ask, but I am up here, so yeah.
I'll start.
Okay.
So there's currently 6 teams in
Yes.
the Love?
Yes.
Is there plans for more teams?
Yes, so Love right now, we currently have 6 teams. Salt Lake, Austin, Houston, Madison, Atlanta, and I am missing one. Austin, Houston, Atlanta, Madison.
Northeast.
Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a complete blank. Salt Lake and, Nebraska, duh.
Nebraska.
Oh shoot, I forgot Nebraska. Convenient, right? Yeah. So there's currently 6 teams, and next year we are expanding. I'm supposed to say 9, but it will be 10. We'll be expanding to Minnesota, Miami, and then LA and San Francisco. So we will get some nice warm weather to get away from Madison in the winter. It's always so funny. People come to Madison and their travel days are absolutely terrible. And then they get stuck here because of snow days. And I'm like, you guys, we're doing this every single weekend, right? You have to do this once from Houston. But anyways, so yes, next year we will have 10 teams in the league.
When is the season for Love?
Yes, so for Love, we have preseason in November and December. Regular season starts in January, and then it ends, it actually just ended last week, so about middle of April. Much better than overseas when we usually get there in like late August, early September, and then we're not done until middle of May. So being overseas is, it's brutal, it's a long one. So Love, short season, incredible. I think someone had a question. Yes?
I do. As a collegiate player, as a left-hand, as a role player, are you allowed to play with amateur tournaments? Also, do you have any available weekends?
Do I get paid in beer? We're in. No, it's Oakstone, right? Yeah, I literally had to write that down. I said, where's this place? She's like, so this is indoor volleyball, right? Yeah, I can do whatever I want.
What about grass?
And grass? I don't know about that. But sand, I don't know, sand gets everywhere. That's why I'm not a beach player.
Yeah.
All right, we'll connect that in a minute. Yes?
When you go from being a player for Love and then have to go and coach
Yeah.
the same day, how hard is that to transition from being one taking direction and having to give direction?
It was an interesting change at first because, like I said, in the mornings I'm playing and I'm an athlete and I'm locked into that headspace. It's kind of hard sometimes to, like, I still have my coaching brain on a little bit when I'm in practice, and it takes, I'm like, don't say anything more, you're not the coach here. But there's times I'm wanting to direct a little bit, but that's not my space, right? That's not my time to do that. So I can offer advice here and there, but I will say, we train in Sun Prairie over on Innovation Way. I don't know how many of you guys or your kids, grandkids play at Madtown, but that's where our facility is, and great facility, by the way, incredible. So that drive over to the field house, like 30 minutes door to door, that is literally my decompression time to like, okay, let me kind of reset my brain, let me get ready for this next phase of like, what are we preparing for? Are we preparing for a match? Are we just doing practices? Are we working, is it spring? A little bit different, timing line-wise, but it was really hard at first, but I found a lot of joy in it because like I said, there's so many things that I'm still learning as an athlete. Honestly, mainly as a leader, that I'm like, wow, I wish I would have known this earlier. And so for me, sharing that information now to where they're getting it when they're 20 years old versus 31, it's just what an opportunity for them to go and take their game to the next level way earlier than what I did. Like, I want them all to be better than what I am and what I was. And so it's the least I can do in offering that advice and giving it. So challenging at first, but now I've found a lot of fun and kind of nitpicking and finding those little pieces to pass on. Yes?
Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Love it. Every minute.
Thank you. I don't have quite the voice of Matt LePay, but I appreciate that.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years and 10 years?
5 years, 10 years. Ooh, I love goals. I'm such a C. Honestly, I don't know if I can do what Kelly Sheffield does. Being a head coach it's a lot, and he goes above and beyond, right? Like, he's one of the best in the business, so he's a boss, all right? I don't know if I can do that yet. I would love to be under his leadership for a while and continue being an assistant coach, and just learning from him, honestly. Just seeing what it takes to build such a culture that has been in the most Final Fours of any program for the last 13 years. So I think I have only 1 more year left of playing. Kelly will probably fire me and then bury me in the ground if I ask for more. So he was very happy to give me another year playing, which is great. So after next year, I will probably be done playing. But yes, I plan on staying with the Badgers at least for the next 5 years. I mean, I love Madison. This is my home now. I'm in Sun Prairie. Sorry, across the road. So yeah, but that's my plan. 10 years? My gosh, good question. Probably same thing, right? Like, we'll see. I wouldn't like to move anywhere else. I love it here. Yeah. Yes.
What advice do you give to girls like working in the competitive, club volleyball?
Yeah.
Dealing with like the politics and
Mm-hmm.
favoritism and things that are involved
Yep.
in competitive sports? Like, what
For
advice
sure.
do you give to navigate that?
I think competitive sports, gosh, it's getting hard, right? Everything is becoming such like politics based, and a lot of it's just money grabs at this point. And for me, it was really important to find a club that understood my goals and my dreams and where I wanted to be, and also taught me those skills in order to be successful at the next level. And so, a little bit of background on the club that I went to. They are very military and like Japanese based. So I'm not kidding. No makeup, no nail polish, hands or toes on the line, hands behind your back. We had to clean everything. If there was a ball on the court, we had to run 100 stairs. This is when you can still do punishments and call it, consequences. We can't say that word in NCAA athletics anymore. But that was how I grew up. And so it just taught me about discipline. It taught me about hard work. And those skills took me into where I am now. I'm very grateful for that. So I always say to find a club that can kind of shape the person you want to be as well. I also think that being willing to do, being willing to do the work when the lights aren't on, when no one's watching. Hard work gets you a lot of places. And being willing to ask questions like I spoke about, right? What is it gonna take for me to be on this team? What can I do in order to help myself get better? And so there's so many things as an athlete that you can do to help yourself and help your own situation. You can't control what other people are gonna do or what other people are gonna think. But can you make yourself so invaluable that it would be impossible to leave them off the roster, right? Or off the team. So continuing to ask questions, being willing to do the lonely work behind the scenes, and also just being truly passionate about that. Like, passion is contagious. So if someone is continually coming in every day, giving to their teammates, trying as hard as they can, people are gonna want those types of people on their team. Absolutely. Yes?
Why number 1 at Wisconsin and number 7 for the national team?
Great question. So number 7 was taken when I got to college by Demi Morales, baller by the way. And so number 7, my dad was a firefighter down in Chicago, retired 3 years ago, and was on the job for, oh my gosh, I think 31 years, and his badge number was 7, and so that's always been like our family number, our lucky number. Wore that when I was in club, got to college, 7 was already taken. It's not like nowadays where basketball is asking for $5,000 to change numbers. I can't make this up, yeah. Some kid comes in and they're like, hey, I'll pay you $5,000 for that number. The kid's like, yeah, no, make it 10 and we have a deal. That's what's happening behind the scenes, folks. And so I was like, guess I'll just take number 1, why not? And then when I went back with national team, 7 was luckily available, and so I moved back to 7, just, in honor of my dad and just kind of our family. So yeah. Yes?
Not a question, but just, I wanted to thank you for coming to Village of Madison. I have 2 daughters that graduated from there, 1 photographer, both huge fans of yours.
Oh, thank you.
I remember when they announced your commitment, I ran a little bit, and my kids did too. And I think you coming here really helped the Wisconsin.
Oh, thank you.
Legitimize that program and along with hockey.
100%.
Learn to Wisconsin. And I really think you coming here had a huge step in that. So this is just
Thank you.
It was awesome you're here too, but
I appreciate that. I think it's so important. I love being on the ground floor of things and helping to build what can be. And Kelly actually talks quite a lot about this, right? Like doing the thankless work sometimes. It's really hard at the beginning. The same thing with Love, being a startup business and just having to do all the hard work and maybe not get paid as much as we would like to, but to have others in 5, 10, 15 years make the money they deserve, right? So I'm okay with doing that work. I'm okay with being on the ground floor, so I appreciate that.